So I think most people think of project manager when they hear a project role, but there's actually a lot of other project roles that don't necessarily have project in the name. So these roles are very specific if you want a very traditional project role that we'll go over. So if you're looking to get into it, a great place to start is a project analyst or assistant. So these are more entry-level positions that you can search for on LinkedIn. They typically don't require any experience. You can also search for project coordinator roles. These aren't exactly entry-level, but they could be a bit more, take on a bit more responsibility, or this also could be entry-level. It's really up to the organization. Then from there, it goes up to a project management role. They typically do require previous experience. Again, it does not have to be in a project-based role. You might be an event coordinator and then moves to a project manager. It doesn't always have a direct path line. And just depending on your career trajectory, moving up to a senior project manager, that's if you have some direct reports, or maybe you're wanting to grow yourself into a portfolio manager, which is typically a program manager, a portfolio manager. You're overseeing multiple projects and kind of seeing how they all intertwine with the organization. And lastly, the director or C-suite. So these are the big bosses, as we call them. But what's really cool is some organizations are actually integrating a new role, the CPO, so the Chief Project Officer, instead of the chief. There's also a Chief Product Officer, but they're also implementing a Project Officer, which I love to see happening. And some of the top skills are as follows. So a great project management skills include communication and negotiation skills. So these are huge and they do translate to a lot of different project management roles. And there's collaboration and facilitation. So as a project team member or manager, you're really facilitating, wanting teams to get creative, brainstorm, collaboration with sessions. There's resource time and budget management. So this is technical and people skill, and it's really about keeping a pulse on things. There's also being organized and detail oriented. So this is a skill that you can learn. It's not necessarily something that you're born with. So it's kind of a muscle that if you flex enough, you can make stronger. And then having leadership and problem solving skills, these speak for themselves, and planning and forecasting risk. So these skills really come with experience in other project work settings. So ways of working is honing in that technical skill set and working with software. And lastly is adaptability and strategic thinking. So always being able to articulate the project vision or mission tied with the organization. So if you have these skill sets, you've likely already mastered some of these. If you are currently in a place of work that doesn't necessarily have the project title, but you want to move into a project role, think how you can translate your experience and then what you have to the next